All right, everyone. I'm not doing an intro. Welcome to Planet of NY Sports. I'm not doing it today. This was pretty urgent. I was really tempted to make this video on Sunday, after this game, because the New York Giants, obviously, if you didn't hear already, got destroyed by the Minnesota Vikings. So I can go. Let me try to stay calm. I'm gonna give you all a warning. I'm gonna try not to curse. I'm really gonna try hard to not curse. I'm not gonna try to use any language. I'm not gonna do it. I let all that out on Sunday. But first, we're going to talk about this guy right here, Daniel Jones. It is year 6. It is year 6. We are going through the same problems. Daniel Jones sucks. The offensive line sucks. The wide receivers dropping passes. The defense leaving Justin Jefferson open on 4th down. Brian Dable, the guy who used to have a ton of down here, is now the cowardly lion. And he's been like that since last year. Not even last year. I'll say at the playoff game during Philadelphia, I've noticed he's been the cowardly lion. But anyways, let's start off with Daniel Jones. You are in year 6. We've paid you all this money after you beat Minnesota in the playoffs 2 seasons ago. You proceed to last year stink up the joint. I know you were dealing with a lot. I said that in the last video. I said that. You didn't have receivers, blah, blah, blah. Saquon was kind of iffy. Andrew Thomas was out. I was like, you know what? Give him time. Give him this. Give him that. Give him Malik Neighbors. Let's see what he can do. Let the offensive line give him some time. And after all this defending, I've had people, Daniel Jones is trash. Daniel Jones is this. The whole entire offseason, the whole media, Daniel Jones sucks. Everyone's clowning on Daniel Jones. And I'm here looking like an idiot defending this guy. I've been defending you, Daniel. I've been defending you. If you watch this channel, you know I've been defending Daniel Jones all the time. I'm like, you know what? I'm not hard on him. However, after this game, and yes, I'm not going to completely put the blame on Daniel Jones. There were times receivers were dropping passes. There were times the offensive line still looking like the offensive line of old or of every season for the New York Giants. However, the pick 6, the second interception, you playing scared. I can't defend you anymore, Daniel. I can't. I'm done. I am done. You are getting all this money. We gave you this contract. And meanwhile, the running back, I'm not saying his name still. I'm not saying his name. The running back over in Philadelphia proceeds to have not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns. 3. And meanwhile, we paid this guy. He's thrown more pick sixes than touchdown passes since he signed his contract. I'm tired of this. I am sick of it. I'm sick of it. I've defended you. You made me look like an idiot. You made me look like a clown defending you. You made me look like a clown. Everyone's over here laughing at me. Oh, Daniel Jones. I'm like, give him time. And I have to go to school on Monday after that. And then also, I'm going to bring up booing real quick because it seems like certain players on the Giants don't like being booed. You got Dexter Lawrence saying, I don't respect fans that boo. So you don't respect fans that pay their hard-earned money. Some of them, this is the only game they get to go to. This is the only game they get to go to maybe once in a lifetime, depending on their financial situation. And you mean to tell me, let's just say this. You're at a restaurant, right? They serve you, I'm not going to say the word. Let's just say poop, right? Are you going to just sit there and just eat it and just no complaints, whatever? Or you're going to be like, Come over here. This is bad. I'm sending it back. I want something else. I want a different product. What are you doing? This is the same thing here. These fans are spending their hard-earned money. They don't want to come every single season to watch you guys suck year after year after year after year. And not counting 2022 because that was a fluke. I'm fully convinced that was a fluke. Whatever. But year after year after year, you guys suck. First game of the season. Then there's Giants legends at this game as well. There were Giants legends at this game. Meanwhile, they're wearing those ugly jerseys too. Never wear those jerseys again, by the way. Never. I don't want to see them ever again. But like I was saying, these fans spend their hard-earned money to come to watch you guys play football. First game of the season. We want some competitive football. And you guys are going to do that? Brian Burns, where were you? Kayvon, where were you? Secondary. I'm not even going to talk about you guys. I said in the video, do your best, whatever. You guys just, I don't care. And then Brian Dable. Look. After 2022, obviously I was like, yeah, Brian Dable, coach of the year. This guy's going to. Last year, I know there was injuries on the team, whatever. I haven't liked what I've seen from Dable. I haven't in a while. I really haven't. I have not liked the way he's coached. I have not liked some of his decisions that he's been making. And this game just further exemplifies exactly why I'm starting. My patience is wearing thin with Brian Dable. It really is. And I'm tired of going through all these coaches. Ben McAdoo, Pat Shurmur, Joe Judge. I'm tired of going through all the head coaches. However, you know what? And this is an organization thing. Ben McAdoo knew what he was talking about when he wanted to move on from Eli. And I know he sat Eli, played Geno Smith, and that was a whole big issue. However, it seems like Ben McAdoo knew what he was talking about because you know who Ben McAdoo was scouting and was like, oh, I like this kid. I like this quarterback. You know who that was? That was Patrick Mahomes. But no, John Mara and the rest of the Mara family were like, no, we want to win another with Eli, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually they get the number 2 pick, and they're like, you know what? There's this Gold Jacket Hall of Fame running back that we can pick at number 2. That's so smart. Let's pick a running back with the number 2 overall pick. That's real smart. Right? Right, guys? Right? Dave Gettleman, that's smart? Yeah, let's do it. You know, even though Josh Allen is in this draft, let's pick a running back with the 2nd overall pick, even though our quarterback has been declining for years and is old and is slow and can't really do anything at this point. Let's try to win another ring with him. Why not? So we do that. We draft him. Obviously, the team still sucks. Eventually, we get rid of OBJ. We still suck. We still suck. We still suck. We still suck. Just like that one meme. We suck again. That's the Giants year after year after year. And again, 2022, I'm just going to forget about 2022 because that was a fluke. That was a fluke. It feels like a dream now. It feels like a dream. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm tired. So I talked about the Maras and Joe Shane. You too, buddy. You're going to get some. You're going to get some because look, overall, if you really look at it, I don't think he's been a great drafter. I know he has inherited some of Dave Gettleman's stupid decisions like trading away, trading down with the Bears, and even though Micah Parsons was there and then proceeds to pick Kadarius Toney, I know you inherited that, but then you also used that pick on Evan Neal. And granted, Evan Neal, I know out of college was supposed to be good, but this is the same guy that, another guy that gets on fans and says, oh, You flipping burgers, blah blah blah. I just want to bring up something that Myles Garrett said on Sunday. He said the fans have the right to boo us after the Browns got destroyed by the Cowboys. They got destroyed. Deshaun Watson, well, he has some stuff going on. I'm not even going to bring up that guy, but you know what he said? He said we deserve to get booed. I don't understand why it seems to be Giants players that are just like, oh, stop booing us, and their feelings get hurt. But Myles Garrett, he gets it. He gets it. But anyways, going back on to Joe Shane, you haven't drafted that well looking at it. Hopefully this neighbor's pick is good. He had a pretty nice first game. No touchdowns, but he had a nice first game. I'll give him that. However, with some of the middle round picks, then meh. You're on high alert. Dable, your seat is hot. If you watch Hard Knocks, you know Mara said, I'm gonna have trouble sleeping at night if Saquon leaves. Saquon left, proceeds to score 3 touchdowns. I know I said his name. I'm just too mad. The Giants are a mess. The season's over. It's done. Wake me up when the baseball playoffs start. We'll still do videos here on the Giants, but it's not going to be overly positive because they will probably be in the running with Carolina for the first overall pick. All right, Sam, you can take it away.
I mean, from an opposition fan point of view, it was a pretty tough watch. Like seeing some of the stuff that was going on. Like, I think that personally, like, don't get me wrong, it was great to get a win week 1, but it was made very easy. The Vikings don't really have the best of O lines, but not much pressure was put on Darnold. Darnold had a lot of time to pass. Jefferson was open quite a lot. Aaron Jones was just ran away with the game. Like no one really stopped him. Even when they tried to, he managed to find a way to get extra yardage. So watching it was made. I think the Vikings' day was made quite easy. Not to take away from how well we played. I think there was definitely a lot of positives. Sam Darnold played a lot better than I thought he was going to. I was a bit worried to see how we would be now without Kirk. However, Kirk had a stinker in Atlanta, and Sam Darnold had the highest passer rating in the entire NFL week 1. So, bit of a weird one, but yeah, Sam Darnold played really well. I just think it was made that it was a very easy game for the Vikings. So not to get too hyped up about the season, because without slagging off the Giants, it was obviously only it wasn't like we were playing the Chiefs week 1. Do you know what I mean? So I think the real test will come next week when we play the 49ers. But I think Weston said on the pre-game show about how the 49ers haven't beaten us at US Bank for quite a few seasons. So I think Sunday will be quite an interesting game. But yeah, I think on the whole, it was a great performance from the Vikings, but it was made very easy by some poor play calls, I think, especially on defense. As you mentioned, Justin Jefferson open on 4th down. I mean, that's inexcusable. To leave him open, the best receiver in the NFL, arguably. There was some questionable play calls, in my opinion, and I think it made the Vikings' day very easy. But as I say, I don't want to take that away from how well we played. I think Sam Darnold, looking at some of the post-game media footage, seems to have a lot of respect in the locker room from the players. And again, Coach O'Connell, he's just someone that just commands respect of everyone, no matter who you are or how long you've been in the organisation. He is just someone that everyone seems to listen to, which is great to have that as a head coach. But yeah, I think it was just a very impressive performance all round for me. I don't know if Weston, you want to add anything to that?
So before I get into what I have to say, I would just like to take a moment to apologize to the entire fan base of the New York Giants. I mean, listen, being a Vikings fan, the Giants, they have a soft spot in my heart. The amount of times, man, I've been watching this team since 2007. I mean, I witnessed the Giants take out Green Bay in 2007. Then I got to witness them take out Green Bay again in 2011 when the Packers were 15-1. So the Giants always will have a soft spot in my heart for doing that for me as a Vikings fan. But now I will get into what I was going to say. So boy, oh boy, I did not expect this game to be like this whatsoever. I was expecting the game to be a bit close because I did say that my score prediction was 24-13, but the Vikings would have scored a touchdown late in the fourth quarter to basically put the game away. It would have been one score at that point, but they didn't allow the Giants to get a single touchdown. This is probably the first game in years where my nerves from quarter one to quarter four took the back seat basically the entire time. I have not watched a game like this in a long time. I think I was still in high school when this was a thing. So I mean, I'm still in shock as to what I watched. I am absolutely in shock. But my three keys to the game basically showcased why the Vikings won. I mean, I said they had to get the run game going. The offensive line did perfect, providing blocks for Aaron Jones. He had a great day. One of my predictions was Jones would have scored his first touchdown in this game as a Viking. He did so along with racking 90 plus yards on 14 carries. Sam Darnold needed to play a clean game, and yeah, as Sam over here was saying, Darnold did play a very clean game. Had the highest rating of any quarterback in the league. He even outdid Patrick Mahomes this week. He started off a perfect 12 for 12 for 136 yards and one touchdown. Yeah, Sam, I have not seen him look this good. I have not seen him look this great in a long, long time. So, and yes, he did have the pick, but that was more so off the deflection from the defensive line rather than him. So I'll excuse the pick. And then I did say the defense needed to step up. They needed to get pressure on Daniel Jones. They needed to shut down the run game, which they did. Singletary had a couple of runs, but Singletary had a very slow day. And then on top of that, I mean, Neighbors did have a solid game. He actually had the most receiving yards of any rookie this past week. So kudos to Malik Neighbors, and hopefully he just keeps on going up from here. But they did really limit the receiving game for the New York Giants for the most part. The corners did a great job. Although I will say, not everything was on Daniel Jones. Oh, yeah, there's Purple Jesus right there. But I was gonna say, I don't think every single thing was Daniel Jones's fault because he did have some targets that went to the receiver's hands and they couldn't complete the catch. How many drops were there? Like 5 or 6? There was way too many to count, and not all of that was on Daniel Jones. So I'll be completely fair on him. Jones was terrible, but not all of it was his fault, in my opinion. But the defense, these new acquisitions, Dallas Turner got his first sack. Andrew Van Ginkel, this is my MVP for this game. I would have given it to Darnold, but I wanted to give it to Van Ginkel. This guy was a huge acquisition, bigger than I honestly thought I would expect. I mean, he had a few tackles, he had a sack, he had that pick six against Daniel Jones where he read that play perfectly like it was Dr. Seuss. I mean, the defense forced 2 turnovers. I'm trying to think. What was my other prediction? Because I said 2 turnovers. I said, oh yeah, Darnold was gonna have a clean game and Jones was gonna have his first touchdown. All 3 predictions came true. So I mean, there we go. But yeah, I am still very shocked as to what I saw. I thought the Giants would have put up a much better fight given the Vikings, history in one-score games these past few seasons. And yeah, I mean, I'm hoping to God that the season, gets better for the New York Giants. I mean, hopefully things go better, and I hope you guys don't end up like the Carolina Panthers this year because I do think there is some talent. Like, I still think Brian Burns is a stud. I still think Dexter Lawrence is a stud. I still think Kayvon Thibodeau is a stud. Singletary is one of the most underrated backs in the league. So hopefully all goes well. I mean, at least please beat the Eagles a couple of times, and the Cowboys too. But yeah, that's all I got to say in regards to the game. I'm shocked.
Okay. When talking about the Cowboys and Eagles, I'm now really nervous for those games because if we look like that against you guys, who no disrespect, I'm not saying you guys, but you guys know what I mean. When we face the Cowboys and Eagles, and we're looking like this against you guys, oh gosh, The Giants are in for a long season. This is going to be bad. I'm getting out of the way now. If we lose again, and I said this before, we lose against Washington, who didn't look great against Tampa Bay. But if we lose that game, after that we got Cleveland, who again didn't look great against Dallas, but I don't like our chances against their defense because our offense is different than Dallas's. Obviously, we are nowhere close to them. Then, you also got Cincinnati, you got Dallas, you got Philadelphia in there, you got Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. That's going to be a low-scoring game, and they're going to win. And then eventually it'll all lead up to the Germany game. Nobody is going to watch that game. That's probably going to be the game for the number 1 overall pick, if I'm being honest. That's most likely going to be the game, especially if the Giants lose next Sunday. Now, like Sam and Weston both said, it is not completely Daniel Jones' fault. I do agree. Because I'm going to try not to rant again. But when you look at the offensive line, I'm going to bring up them again. Because, now, yes, they weren't perfect. They played okay when you really look at it. Daniel Jones did run into a few sacks where I was like, dude, what are you doing? However, sometimes it's like the same issues every year. Daniel Jones doesn't have enough time. And also the receivers dropping pretty easy, pretty simple catches. And I'm like, you got to help the guy out somehow. And I really do feel bad for him. Because I'm sure now his confidence is at an all-time low. It's pretty much sunk probably at this point. You look at, even after the game, you've got fans over there heckling and saying, Danny Pennies, and just heckling him. This is bad. And you know what? In a few games, I wouldn't be shocked if he keeps this up or if the team itself isn't rallying around him, and then it'll probably be Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock in there, and we'll be able to compare and see, is this guy, is Tommy DeVito made? But granted, Tommy DeVito did, his 3 wins were against pretty bad defenses, but whatever, I won't get into that. But everyone loves Tommy DeVito, and everyone loved trying to tell me, they should just start DeVito. Daniel Jones is trash. I'm not going to get on that hype train. However, Daniel Jones is trash, and I'm done with Daniel Jones. It's not all his fault, but the Giants, it is finally time to go in a new direction. And I want to say this for all you fans out there. I really do not want to hear at the end of the season, let's say they're in contention for a top 3 pick, and there's a quarterback that we really like. I do not want to hear Giant fans getting on me or getting on anyone else that may want to tank and calling them a negative Nancy, why aren't you positive, blah, 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 because it's the same fans clowning on Daniel Jones saying start DeVito, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that. Because we got the Colts at home at the end of the season. We got the Eagles at the end of the season who may not try in that game. And it wouldn't shock me if they let us even stumble into a win and screw over our draft position because we seem to do that almost every year. I do not want any meaningless wins. I'm just going to say that right now. I don't. If we're gonna tank, fire Dable halfway through the season, depending on how he looks. Because if he keeps up this cowardly lion stuff that I've been seeing from him going back to the Philadelphia playoff game, he's done. And like Sam said, the play calling was atrocious this game. I'm sorry. On both sides of the ball. It was atrocious. On offense, and that screen pass, that was a pick 6. Why are we doing screens in the first place like that? Daniel Jones needs to get rid of that ball early. You know what? And then also having Daniel Jones just run at times, not taking shots downfield as much. I really did not understand the play calling. So do you guys have anything else you want to add? Sam, you're good. Weston, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so like in regards to the Vikings that I was about to bring up, I mean, yes, it's the New York Giants. Yes, this team didn't really have too much expectations, but I mean, going into this, because the Vikings were predicted to have a very rough stretch throughout these next few games, but I'm at least confident that this team will play with a purpose. And win or lose, if these games are like if the game against the Niners is competitive, against Houston, if that's competitive, Green Bay was supposed to be a scare, but now Malik Willis is most likely going to be starting that game. The Jets did not look impressive at all. If they keep going down that slope, then that should be a give me game in London. I mean, I might be confident. I'm not going to try to get on the train too much and be like, oh, 10 wins, 9 wins, but it might be the best 8-win team I think I might watch in a long time. But yeah, because usually in games like this, and we saw this 2 years ago when Ed Donatel was defensive coordinator, like the Giants, Daniel Jones did whatever he wanted. That was the game that, I mean, RJ was fooled. I was a little bit fooled too because I thought Daniel Jones was picking up all the pieces. And it turns out the Giants were playing chess, or how does the quote go? Giants were playing chess. Ed Donatel was playing checkers. One of the two. I don't know how it goes, but you get the idea. Ed Donatel and Jerry Jones were collaborating, working together, so the Giants could give Daniel Jones 160 million just to basically destroy the dreams down the road. I'm so sorry, RJ, but I'm having a lot of conspiracies about that playoff game that happened. But yeah, no. So first off, as I said, Giants fans, God bless you. I hope nothing for the best, but if the season does not work out, I mean, I'm not really all about Shador Sanders, but Quinn Ewers will be available. Carson Beck will be available. I believe Dylan Gabriel might be on the board. There's plenty of good quarterbacks out there in the draft this year that you can take to replace Daniel Jones with. I mean, maybe get another target alongside with Neighbors, because I do think Neighbors will be special. Fix that line a little bit. I mean, the defensive line's not bad. I mean, I still think the Giants' front seven is no joke. Their secondary is going to need some help though, but yeah, it's just all about how are you going to rebuild the pieces once this rebuild process starts. Because I was thinking the same thing in Minnesota, like what are the pieces going to look like during this rebuild? And so far, it's looking like they got the correct pieces together with these low key acquisitions, playing safe with the quarterback signings and all that stuff, trying to find the right answer. And I'm hoping that New York kind of takes the same route as that because I don't want to see the Cowboys win the NFC East. I don't want to see the Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC East. For me, if it's New York or Washington, I'm a happy man because I don't have to deal with those two fan bases over there. But yeah, that's all I had to say in regard. And those are my final words here.
Yeah, and just real quick, just talking about the draft. I can't believe I'm already talking about the draft after the first week. But yeah, looking at the draft, there are quarterbacks. However, some people aren't as high on some of the quarterbacks, and however, if the Giants were to take a route where let's just say they win meaningless games and they kind of whatever, I do like some of the cornerbacks in this draft. And I feel like especially after watching this game and just watching the Giants in years past, they definitely need a good corner. Now, I don't want another Eli Apple situation, drafting a corner in the first round, but this year might be the year to do it, especially depending on if Daniel Jones, whatever, I don't want to do another year of this. If they want to get in a different type of bridge guy, maybe to have a competition for next year and then even the next year, and what people are saying is a better quarterback class in 26 with, a certain guy named Arch Manning, even though I know he hasn't played yet, blah, blah, blah. And then there's also Nico. There's quarterbacks. We'll see if the Giants get one next year. This is pretty sad that I'm already talking about the draft. But if you can all do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you all in the next video, whenever that is. We'll probably talk about the Jets in a few days. But yeah, see ya.